This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
London-listed Altona Rare Earths, EPIC code REE, is focused on critical minerals development in Africa. The company's flagship project is the Monte Moambi Rare Earths project in northwest Mozambique. But the company started 2024 by acquiring the Kabomo South Copper Project in Zambia, and most recently has acquired the Sasana project in the highly prospective Kalahari Copper Belt in Botswana. Chief Executive Cedric Simonet joins us today to tell us all. Hello, Cedric. How are you today? I'm very good, thank you. So, of course, the Kalahari Copper Belt is a world-renowned district. It's host to Sandfire's Mateo Mine and, of course, many other discoveries. Kavango Resources are also making good progress in the region with their own Caracubus license, and we heard from Ben Turney on Stockbot recently, of course. Can I ask what specifically attracted you to this area, and also how were you able to secure a project package, because the region is clearly very hot with other operators at the moment?
All right. Why are we attracted by the Kalahari Copper Belt in Botswana? I would say three reasons. First, the geology, which is very similar to the Central Africa Copper Belt, which runs through DRC and Zambia. The Kalahari Copper Belt has been explored for a much shorter time than the Central Africa Copper Belt. The main reason being that the outcrops are covered by a layer of sand. So for the old-time explorers, it was difficult to do exploration there. But now with modern geophysical and geochemical methods, it's a lot easier. In terms of location, it's a very interesting location for us. Botswana is one of the most secure mining investment destinations in Africa. Actually, if you look at the Fraser Institute report for 2022, you will see that Botswana is in the top 10 alongside North American and Australian jurisdictions. So it's a very, very good destination. And the last thing is that the Kalahari Copper Belt, in my opinion, is still in its infancy. Exploration has been done seriously over the past 20 years with some discoveries already. And as you will have read in the RNS, we are located just 25 kilometers from the Kwemakao copper mine, which was opened in 2021. So when you compare with the Central Africa Copper Belt, which has been in operation for over 100 years and which is still delivering discoveries until now, well, the potential of the Kalahari Copper Belt is just huge.
Of course. And Kabomo South in Zambia is also located close to numerous famous copper mines across the Central Africa Copper Belt. And of course, there's also west of the famous Zambia Copper Belt province too. What progress have you made there since acquiring the tenement in January?
Yeah, this is correct. Kabomo South is also located in a very exciting part of the world, in copper land with, we would say, elephant land, where you have huge copper deposits. So also a very good place to operate. We acquired the project just last month, so we have not done much yet. We are busy reviewing the data, especially there has been some ground magnetometer surveys and very high resolution, so we are busy reprocessing this data. And once we've done that, we will start infill ionic leach sampling to narrow down on the geochemical anomalies that have already been identified.
Okay. So 2 new copper projects now in the portfolio, Cedric. What was the rationale as a company behind this diversification into copper?
Yeah, this is a very interesting subject. Back in 2020, Altona decided to focus on rare earth elements, and we acquired the Monte Moambi rare earth project. At the time, the price of rare earth elements of neodymium and praseodymium in particular was going up. But what happened since February 2022, roughly, the price of neodymium and praseodymium has been dropping to the level where it is now. And we believe very strongly in the long-term fundamentals of the neodymium and praseodymium market. Analysts estimate that by 2040, about 3 times more neodymium and praseodymium production will be necessary compared to the current production level. And this is driven, as you know, by the green energy transition. But the fact is the rare earth market is a relatively new market. It's a niche market. There are very few producing operations outside of China. So the price of rare earths is still very unstable. And unfortunately, when you are a junior exploration company, even if you are still several years away from production, your share price gets very impacted by the price of the commodities. Yeah. So we decided that in order to make the most of our rare earth assets, it was better for us to diversify our portfolio of commodities into some other critical raw materials. We want to stay in this segment. And critical raw materials, which are very much positively impacted by the green energy transition again. So we sat and looked down at different commodities. We narrowed down on 3, which are copper, lithium, and niobium. And we secured these 2 copper projects. We believe a lot in the fundamentals of copper. I am sure that you've seen the recent news articles about copper entering a bull market. The price has gone up to about $4.3 per pound, which is excellent. But for us, even bull market is nice, but what we are looking for with copper is stability, experience in terms of even our investors. Investors understand much better the copper market than the rare earth market. And the other thing with copper is that the industry is very, very developed. So there are many different ways you can valorize a copper plate. You don't have to take it up to production. You can do a deal with a major. There are many ways to valorize a copper product.
Okay. Well, of course, as the name implies, Altona is cornerstoned by the Monte Moambe Rare Earths project, where, of course, you recently announced a major JORC-compliant mineral resource estimate of 13.6 million tons at 2.42% total rare earth oxides. And that, of course, has given the project a net present value, or an NPV8, of $283.3 million US. Now, you're still waiting for the metallurgy results, I believe. What plans do you have to further de-risk the project this year?
All right. So there are 2 important angles that we are currently pursuing to de-risk further the project. The first angle is the metallurgy, as you've just said. So the metallurgical process at Monte Moambe involves 2 steps. First, you take the ore into a beneficiation plant, which includes a flotation plant. And that flotation plant produces a concentrate, a bastnäsite concentrate. And then the second step is that you take the concentrate to another plant, which is also at Monte Moambe, just next to the first one. And you leach the rare earths out of the concentrate, and you reprecipitate them as in the form of a mixed rare earth carbonate. So in the scoping study, at the time last year, we had done very little metallurgical work. And we used the assumption that we would have a concentrate of 10% total rare earth oxide. But we know that it's possible to get to a much higher level than this. We think we can get to 20% or above. And the metallurgical work that we are doing right now is designed to prove this. So if we get to 20%, this is going to change completely the economics of the project. Because and to improve them even further, because when you put into the hydrometallurgy plant a concentrate which is double the grade, well, your operating costs in the hydrometallurgy plant are divided by 2, basically. And the hydrometallurgy is the most expensive part of the project, both in terms of CapEx and OpEx. So we expect a lot from the results of the of the metallurgical testing. And they will also give us samples so that we can start talking to off-takers. The second angle for de-risking is the licensing part. As you know, in December, we have lodged the mining concession application. Mining concession is a mining license. And this is very important, obviously, because in Mozambique, you can get your mining license at an early stage of the project. And once you have your mining license, it's a significant angle for de-risking. So while we are diversifying our portfolio of projects, Monte Muambe is still very much the focus of our attention. I will take you back to the research note which was produced by L&B Capital after we published our scoping study, which valued Altona at the time at 12.3 million pounds, taking into consideration our 51% ownership of Monte Muambe. So we believe there is a lot of value locked into Monte Muambe, and we are currently working on making sure we get this value out. And that includes very actively looking for possible strategic investors for Monte Muambe. This is one of those things I'm doing very keenly right now.
Excellent. Well, Cedric, of course, you've announced 2 new projects to the portfolio to complement your flagship project, Monte Muambe. Couple of questions for you here. Are you firstly looking at any more projects going forward? And also for shareholders and investors, where is the focus going to be now to build shareholder value?
All right. So, as I've explained, one of the reasons for the diversification we are going through was to be less exposed to just the price of rare earth as commodities, which is quite unstable. So for us, it was very important in terms of adding value for shareholders to de-risk the commodity exposure. By adding projects in Botswana and in Zambia, we are also reducing the risk in terms of jurisdiction exposure. Mozambique is a very good mining jurisdiction, and we are in a safe part of Mozambique in the Tete province, next to the coal mines. But Botswana and Zambia are very, very high jurisdictions in terms of security of tenure, in terms of perception of corruption levels, which are low. These are very good mining jurisdictions in Africa. So to answer your question about acquiring other projects, as we acquired Kabomo South and Sesana, we were looking for projects which had a relatively low entry cost and also a relatively low cost to initial news flow. And that's one thing which is very important for us, is to increase the news flow that you would have with just one project. So I'm still looking at other possible projects, quality projects. I'm not trying to fill a basket with dozens of projects. We're very, very, very selective. We've looked at many projects. We've dropped many. So we've selected these 2 so far. We might add one. I'm quite interested about lithium in particular. Lithium prices have fallen down the same way as rare earth prices have, but they will pick up. And the price is being down at the moment. It's a good time to try to secure a new project. But we'll see. We don't want, again, to have too many projects. We want to focus on quality.
Well, we look forward to hearing more about the investment proposition for Altona as you develop the project and look at and possibly acquire further projects during the year. Wish you every success for the coming year. Cedric Simonet, Chief Executive of Altona Rare Earths, many thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Alan.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.